Hey, it's Gratu Orloff here, episode 521 of the Gratu Orloff television program, and coming to you from Mount Gratu up in Iowa. Here in what I've dubbed the Pink Room, which used to be part of the porch of this old house, I have turned it into a combination general store. So I want to create the illusion that you're in an old store with Mars Attacks cards and Munsters cards, and you got the new TV guide, and you got your Super Monsters, you got your Rat Fink stuff, Fantastic Odd Rods, Planet of the Apes, everything you need, even an alien jigsaw puzzle. Everything to make your Christmas the happiest with Blue Waltz gift toiletries. And so that's some of my wife's magazines. There's the Mad Special, which is the first issue of Mad I ever bought. And so anyway, it's just trying to make it into a little fantasy store. Also an art gallery. So I've got some wonderful paintings. This one I painted myself, which is obviously based on a painting in the Addams Family living room. There's our old shower curtain from the old house. And here's a painting that shows the house we're in back in the old days. See, we're right here in this room here, and so anyway, there's a lot of blank space on this wall because I'm trying to turn this into an art gallery, and so I need to obtain some more original art or paintings, perhaps from you guys. If you want to send me a drawing or painting, I can frame it, put it up here, and have make this into a true night gallery. So we have paperbacks here, Tales from the Crypt. Here's a paper. Speaking of Neal Adams, well, I wasn't speaking of Neal Adams, but I should, since he passed away about a week or so ago. Here's those comics turned into novelization form. See, right here, this door here, this was really the original door to the house. So this is the original door. And so, now when you go over here, is I guess the formal entrance to the house. And so, my wife and I have been thinking we could turn this room into a little miniature store, and then have curtains here. And I could probably sell some of those extra duplicates, triplicates, quadruplicates I have of some of my comics. Or she could sell makeup or vintage makeup. She's quite into that. So here's another wonderful painting by Lance Laurie. Yeah, I mean, this isn't much bigger. I'm much smaller, really, than the original Lone Star Comics. And there's no comic store within miles of here. I don't know, something I'm thinking I could do. Right now, Drew's here. Got all these pillows and stuff. She prefers her original pillow. This one came from Mike Lindell, the MyPillow.com guy. And I just haven't gotten her on it yet to truly appreciate the conservative luxury of sleeping on a Mike Lindell pillow. Okay, I want to show you something, because sometimes I'll show you things that you can enjoy on YouTube. And this is something. SMU Jones Films, all right? See, I'm subscribed to it. What it is, SMU is a college, you've probably heard of it, in Dallas. Well, there's the local ABC affiliate in Dallas is WFAA, Channel 8. Well, is this the same one? What Channel 8 does is they have all these, they used to shoot the nightly news on film, on 16mm film, and then they would cut it together and they'd show it. The news would be live, and they'd cut to news actual film clips. Well, they've donated all their reels of film which are in pristine condition to SMU, and they're gradually putting them up on YouTube. So here, this was put up an hour ago, women in the early 1970s. But what I wanted to show you is, look at this. Extras audition for Logan's Run in Dallas, June 1975. Well, you know, Logan's Run was filmed mostly around Dallas, Fort Worth, Arlington, where I used to live. And this was put up 22 hours ago. So it's definitely something worth taking a look at. Unfortunately, they have this watermark in all their films.
In other words, don't call us, we will call you. Hundreds of people will hear that line before the day is over, all of them wanting that first big crack in the movies. The casting is part of an MGM feature that will be shot largely in Dallas. Needed are 700 people, all extras. And they must meet only one requirement. They must be beautiful.
Anyway, where else are you going to see something like that? So they were, if they were hired, they were extras in Logan's Run. So, I'm sure if you're watching this channel, you're a fan of Logan's Run, or at least saw it when you were a kid. There's all kinds of great things on YouTube. One thing you could do is look at the library of Gratu Orloff, and here I've got my music May 22, and I've put in here music that I think would be fun to listen to. So here's music from Dick Hyman, which I don't know if that's his real name or not, but oh well. So, yes, Dick Hyman. So let's take a look at some books. I'm sticking here close to Drusilla, who had surgery yesterday. She became an altered beast. Wasn't there a video game called Altered Beast? Yes, but she's a wonderful little girl, and she's over here in her collar and taking care of her. Okay. All right. Let's take a look at some shit, shall we? Let's see. Oh, here's No Man. He's, of course, the Thunder Agent. This is, you know, all part of that big superhero camp craze of 1966. And these were comics. The Thunder Agents were heroes created by some of the great artists, Wally Wood, and oh, look, it's printed like the early, like the paperbacks that reprinted the EC Mads. It's I don't know. I used to be able to find all kinds of cool stuff. There's not as much stuff here in Mount Gratu, Iowa, but apparently there's a half-price bookstore in Des Moines, which is about an hour and a half away from here. And I found that great record and comic store that I showed you a few episodes back, but that's a 2-hour and 6-minute drive from here. Let's see what else I can find. Ah, look, it's part of the Lensman series. Not in very good shape. E.E. Doc Smith. If you aren't aware of this, the Green Lantern stories, not the Golden Age Green Lantern, but the Silver Age Green Lantern that people today know, the Intergalactic Policeman, that whole idea came from the Lensman series, which is E.E. Doc Smith in the old pulp days, because what's up. You didn't know it? Now you know, and knowing is half the battle, right? That's what Zelensky said yesterday when he was addressing the World Economic Forum. Something like that. Here's Boogeyman by Robert Bloch. Here's World's Finest. But these ones are done more in this format where it's you don't have to hold the book sideways. I don't know. What can I show you here? I'm stuck. I want to be close to the dog. I don't want, you know, I went upstairs earlier and the dog followed me with her collar all the way upstairs. So I'm trying to play it cool and not, so I'm looking at books near her. Let's see. Here's the novelization of Young Frankenstein. I always loved this poster. My brother bought me, I was in 3rd, 4th grade when this came out, probably 4th grade. My brother was in college and he bought a giant, like this 3-sheet size poster of this. Just beautiful. And I had it on my bedroom. I still have. I don't know if I still have it. I used to have a wonderful poster on the ceiling in the old house. This is my problem. I keep thinking of things that I have. Oh, yeah, I have. Do I have that? Because I've lost things in the move, and it's very. Something that big would have to have been rolled up, and it would be quite obvious. And maybe I've got it. I don't know. It's driving me mad. I was already mad, and it's making me worse. What else can I entertain you with? Oh, look at this. God damn it. Pardon my language. It's Utterly Mad, but 2 different printings. Pink and a blue version. This is what I was talking about when I said they reprinted the EC Mads in this format. This is how most of us first became aware of the EC Mad, is through these paperbacks. If you're around in my age bracket, which apparently according to YouTube, everyone that watches this show is in that range, near my age. I don't know, I would think that younger people would watch, but I was always interested in what older people that collected comics or records had to say back when I was a kid, but maybe they aren't anymore. Maybe they just want to see slabbed comics or know what's hot, what to buy. They want to be told what to buy. This is a beautiful painting. This isn't reprints of comics. This is actually a novel, which I don't think I ever read this. I just admired the cover. I think someone told me it's really shitty. But you can tell me down in the comments. These are those Tijuana Bibles. This is a paperback that came out. They probably sold this in dirty bookstores. Yeah, it's like dirty. Here's Betty Boop. There's Snuffy Smith, Popeye. Can't really show it too much. It's just, some of them are done better than others. Really, someone just commented on one of my videos named Mark. It just popped up at the top. But yeah, these were little 8-page, they were little small comics about like those Jack Chick religious tracts. And apparently in the 1930s and 40s, these were quite the rage. I don't know where they were sold, if they were just sold under the counter. And it's just dirty. I think that what it is, I think that this really inspired Harvey Kurtzman and Will Elder and the really mad EC artists, and they just did a PG-13 version of these for Mad, you know, where the principal of, Principal Witherspoon and Archie is chasing the Betty and Veronica around in the office, but it just never gets to the point where clothes are shed. but everyone, all the characters in those old Mad comic books were always horny all the time, just like Harpo Marx. It was just always chasing women around. Let's see, what do we got here? I got a whole bunch of copies of The Butcher, because I found them in a thrift store, and I had to get all of them, every one of them that they had. The Butcher. It's not a series that anyone ever talks about, or that I know that really collects, but you know, they put out the reprints of Doc Savage, and they put out the reprints of Conan there in the late 60s and into the 70s, and then all of a sudden everyone had whole series of that was the thing. It was like the new pulps, but they were in paperbacks, were the new pulps, and you'd have these series of these different kind of anti-heroes. There was the Executioner, there was the Butcher. The Punisher was was just an attempt to make a comic book version of all these paperback kind of anti-heroes. Let's see what else we have here. What else can I show you? Here's soundtrack music to Dark Shadows. And here's some Dark Shadows books. You know, there were some DC romance horror books, comic books that came out in the early 70s, and they had this oval shape on them, on the front covers, to try to make them look like these Dark Shadows books. There was even a Dark Shadows cookbook that came out. Dark Shadows was a big deal to a mainly, although not completely, female audience. Superboy and the lead shit of superheroes. Beautiful painting, drawing. What else can I entertain you with? Well, let's move. I think Frankenstein may have been damaged in the move, because his eyes used to move, and one of his eyes is like way cockeyed, and the jaw used to move too when he talked. I don't know what exactly happened there. Something not good. Probably something in the move. A lot of stuff damaged in the move. Oh, there's a bunch of books stacked up over here. Let's see what we got over here. The light's probably a little better over here, actually. There's the Astounding She-Monster poster that I thought I had lost. And I remember complaining to Captain Strangelife when he was here that I could not find that poster and Goliath and the Vampires. And you know what? They turned out to be... they had been put into this closet here. So that was, but they've been found. Okay, let's see what we got here. Big stacks of paperbacks. It's like Land of the Giants, isn't it? With a big hand coming out. All right, let's see what we got here. All right, here is the Spirit Casebook. True Haunted Houses and Ghosts. This is Will Eisner trying to make some money in the 1970s. He put out, I remember buying this about 1977 or so in Century Bookstore in Arlington, Texas. It was, I don't think the spirit even really appears in here. It's just, it just kind of like he's the narrator, but it's mostly ghost stories done in, so it's Will Eisner telling ghost stories. Oh, I got my subtraction flashcards, so that ought to help me. Let's see. Oh, here's Eric Von Daniken, Chariots of the Gods. This is a different edition. Oh, this must be from England. Corgi Books. Yeah, this is a UK edition. That's not how it looked in the States. The States, Chariots of the Gods had a very distinctive look where the letters kind of went up into the distance, and then everybody that imitated Chariots of the Gods imitated that style. Here's a Mad paperback, the organization Mad. Sin Alley by Fred Mercer. This is a famous book. The Kid Was a Killer by Carol Chessman. Yeah. A searing novel of violence in the hearts of men. And speaking of who knows what evil lurks in the hearts of men, we've got a Shadow with Jim Steranko cover. Another Jim Steranko cover. See, they tried to, with the success of the reprints of Doc Savage and Conan and other characters from the 30s, they tried to do it with a Shadow, but it didn't really take, unfortunately. And the Avenger. Here's a Psycho by Robert Bloch. And of course, Norman Bates was actually based on the editor and publisher of Castle of Frankenstein, the 60s and 70s monster magazine. He was a guy that had this mother that was so smothering. She would audit all his college classes and sit in the back of his classes. She was and Robert Bloch was friends with him, and so when he wrote Psycho, everybody in that circle of friends knew that it was really about Calvin Beck. How about that? Let's see. I've told that story a million times. If you watch every episode, I'm probably like your grandfather or crazy uncle that tells you the same stories over and over again. I think this is the actual book that new movie that every girl loves, The Princess Bride. Yeah, except the movie looks nothing like that cover. William Goldman, author of Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, Marathon Man, An Episodic Adventure from the Golden Days of Melodrama. Yeah. It's not that I didn't like Princess Bride. It was fine. But the people that love it and quote from it, I mean, it's not a pimple on the ass of Monty Python and the Holy Grail. But that's another movie that people would memorize and walk around and recite it because they had no sense. People like Bill Gates, I'm sure, did this. These idiots, they had no sense of humor, so they would memorize the Saturday Night Live that they'd seen, probably recorded it on their cassette recorder, and then they'd come into the junior high school on Monday morning and they'd have every skit from Saturday night memorized, and they would just quote, instead of having a conversation, they would talk Steve Martin lines, you know, or Chevy Chase lines. And that's what people did with Monty Python and the Holy Grail, you know, and it was a nightmare. Oh, this is one of my wife's, I think this is my wife's book. This book on tarot cards. I need to get this into a separate but equal shelf for her. Remember these Lovecraft editions from the 70s? Kind of terrifying looking covers. These are the ones that were advertised in the back of Warren magazines. Carter Brown, Girl in a Shroud. Here's Dr. Sex and The Catcher in the Rye, two famous books. Dr. Sex is just a bunch of dirty little, remember those little digest magazines with those little stupid cartoons? Here's Depravity. So I've got all the highbrow literature here. There's Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep? But this is the movie edition that came out when this came out, what, about 83? Remember how shocked I was at Harrison Ford's appearance, that he had this hair that was all chopped up? That was shocking to me then. But now it's like every idiot has their hair like that. It's not shocking anymore. And I remember how shocking it was when the Stray Cats came out and they had just a few tattoos on their arms. Now everybody, even school teachers, have full sleeves. And, but you know, this sounds like the Rosemary's Baby theme. Is that what this is? I don't know. Anyway, here's another, this is another great character from the days of the pulps, the Spider. And, they tried to bring him back in the 70s and reprint his stories, but it didn't take off like Doc Savage did. We got all these books: Savage Bride, Burlesque. Decades of collecting all the highbrow literature. Here's Fungi from Yuggoth and other stories from Lovecraft. Here's 1001 Ways to Beat the Draft. Talbot Mundy's Towering Legendary Warrior. Tros of Samothrage, Helma. Tros the Visionary faces the Brother of Gods, Son of Dragons, the Lord Talisman, Master of Druids. Lots of this sword and sorcery flooded the shelves in the 70s because the Conan books were so popular, right? The Worlds of Robert Heinlein. I loved him. Heads Off at Midnight. A lot of misogyny and violence in these books. Until You Are Dead. God Wears a Bow Tie. There's a lot of people like me that collect these old 50s and these ones that are about 50s juvenile delinquents, you know. You listen to the rock and roll music and the rockabilly music and everything, and then the next thing you're reading, there was one written by Harlan Ellison called Memos from Purgatory, where apparently he was a young writer, and supposedly he looked kind of like a teenager, and he joined a teenage gang, and then just so he'd be able to write about it. Kind of like Hunter S. Thompson hung around with Hell's Angels and wrote that book. Well, anyway, that's where I first heard about zip guns, which were guns that were homemade guns made by these gang members, and the knife fights they'd have and stuff. Here's The Mark of Zorro. Oh, and this was one of the greats, G8 and the Battle Aces. See here, they just reprint the original pulp cover. This is also a 70s attempt to bring back the pulps. Lots of nostalgia in the 70s for the 30s and for the 50s. Because of American Graffiti, which takes place in the very early 60s, and then a lot of music from the 50s, and then Happy Days. And so yeah, the 70s were a pretty horrible time, but there was a lot of nostalgia for the 30s and the 50s, which I took off on. But now that I look back on it, even the 70s part that I hated at the time really wasn't that bad, because the music of the 70s, even the disco, sounds so much better than the music today. Here's Battle for the Planet of the Apes. Oh, and this ties everything in perfectly. Here's the novelization from Logan's Run. It was no, it's not a novelization. It was an existing novel that the movie was based on. And there was a sequel to this called Logan's World that I haven't read. This is not the spider from the pulp novels. This is a Bill Ward cover. The Spiders, Blank Slaves. Just cool. I'd like to have that original art. Oh, I've got some more art. I've got a drawing of that was sent to me of man, my mind's not working. I've got some more art that I can put up on that wall in that art gallery that I was just showing you. I think I was just showing you because I started this episode twice before and my wife called and interrupted and I took her call. So I don't know really what I've said in this episode and what I haven't said. Laura Ingalls Wilder, you know, there are Amish people around here. Sometimes I'll look out this window and I'll see a horse and buggy drive by and I hear the clop of the horse's hooves on these brick streets. It's like you go back in time, and then sometimes I'll go in the Hy-Vee supermarket, and there'll be Amish people in there, and the guys, it's a cool look, I have to say, because the guys all dressed like Pa, like Michael Landon in Little House on the Prairie, with their sleeves rolled up. It's a cool, and the suspenders, they look just like they were in the wardrobe from that TV show, and the women's outfits are like, don't look too good, but the guys look cool. It's just, uh-oh. Drew's up and wandering. What's up, Drew? Do you want to eat? I got your food. You want to get water? Let me get her food. Drew, I got your food over here. Hugga, hugga. Come here, Drew. I may have to take the cone off of her for her to eat. I don't know. Here, you want to eat some of that? I don't think she has an appetite yet. Yeah, well, it's good that you're up and getting around there, Drew. Say hi to your fans. Looks like the beginning of a cartoon. It's just her head with this circle around it. It's like, that's all, folks. Her tongue being activated tells me she's hungry. Let's see what Drew is up to. What can else? Okay. What else can I show you? What time is it? Oh, it's 2:10. I've got to take my wife to the doctor at 2:30, so I'm gonna have to wrap this show up pretty quick. I don't know if she's ready or not. Okay, Drew has made it up on the couch where she likes to be. I'm gonna put on my socks. Oh, that's cool how the ceiling reflects. Kind of looks cool on video. I wish we didn't have to have her have that surgery, but everyone says it's a responsible thing to do, and I guess it is. It just, the only dog I had before, Daisy, my other beloved beagle that passed away years ago, when I adopted her, she was already 6, they said, and she'd been, already had the surgery, so I've never gone through the recovery process, and I don't really know what it entails. And all that. Putting them on my shoes. Oh, now she's coming off the couch. Boy. Here's a band to seek out, the Rumblers. This song, Boss, is great. Okay. What else can I show you? Oh, here's some comics. Here's Radioactive Man. This one glows in the dark. Oh, here's the first appearance of Warlord. First issue special. The Warlord was kind of an Edgar Rice Burroughs, John Carter type character. He looked like Green Arrow. Green Arrow fighting dinosaurs. This is a book my friend Mike McCarthy did. Damselvis. He even has an ad like she's an Aurora model on the back. But he did these comics, and then he also made movies. So he made a movie. That's the actress that played the character in the movie. So he made a movie, and then there was the comic, and then eventually, so he did comics, and then he did comics and made them into movies, and then he just stopped doing the comics and just made the movies, and maybe drew the poster for the movies, because it's so much easier and less lonely to make movies instead of sitting in a lonely room, he told me, drawing. Uh-oh. What is Drew trying to do? Drew, come here. You want some food? She's wanting to chew on cardboard, but the thing won't allow her to get that far. I need to bring this food back over for her. I have a pain pill in the food, and so the doctor wouldn't have given me the pain pills unless that meant that she's going to be experiencing pain at some point, so I'm hoping she will consume this food. Now, if we go to the barbecue place here in a little bit, when I take my wife to the doctor, and we bring back some of that barbecue, then she'll definitely eat. There's just no way she won't eat that. It's some of the best barbecue, but it's weird, this restaurant is only open on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and from 5 till 9, and nothing in this town's open after like 9, or there's one restaurant that's open till 10, but even the bars close at 8 or 9, which probably accounts for the lack of crime and things like that. This is the planet Mars where I was born. That's a globe of Mars. What else can I show you? Oh yeah, and I found the origins of Marvel Comics, but I'm sure, I know I had the superhero women. See, I've got Origins, Son of Origins, Bring on the Bad Guys, but I had the superhero women, so where in the name of heck is that? Oh, the movie theater here, the Princess Theater. You can rent it. It's like the barbecue place. It's only open on Friday and Saturday. One showing. So they're opening Top Gun tomorrow. They'll be showing at 7 o'clock. One show only, 7 o'clock Top Gun. Saturday, 7 o'clock. And then they have a Sunday matinee. So it's only open 3 days a week. It's kind of supported by the community. But it's an old theater that's been around since the silent movie days. But you can rent the theater for like $200 a night. So imagine if you guys came here and visited, or we had a convention here, or if some of you retired and moved here. There's a house 2 blocks from here that's like $140,000. It's beautiful with this beautiful green, because the grass here is green like I've never seen. And I asked the neighbor, what kind of grass is this? He said, oh, it's just bluegrass. And it's like, oh, it's so beautiful. No wonder they named that wonderful style of music after this type of grass. But I had no idea. I figured bluegrass was blue. Well, no, there's no bluegrass. What am I saying? Okay, well, I've got my socks and shoes on. I'm ready to go. My bags are packed. I'm ready to go. I'm leaving on a jet plane to the doctor, but I've got to get my wife down from the bedroom to take her. What else can I show you? This is not the same Princess Theater. This one's in Hopkinsville, Kentucky. But apparently there were a lot of theaters named the Princess Theater. This is Dr. Satan Shrieks in the Night Show. And this spook show, Dr. Evil and his Horrors of the Night, was at Center Theater. So it says, hey man, dig this crazy show and a real gone thriller. And I have a poster. Oh, yeah. Well, that's the same as this. Hey man, dig this crazy show, but that's Dr. Jekyll and his weird show. But this is Dr. Evil and his Horrors in the Night, not to be confused. And this one, Dr. Zom. Oh, I have not memorialized Howie Pyro, who was this amazing record collector and famous punk rock musician that did a wonderful show called Intoxica on the internet, or was it on WFMU? I can't remember. No, it was on Luxuria on the internet. Howie Pyro was great, and he was someone that's kind of a friend of mine. You know, I used to record his show, and when he had computer problems, you know, I said, oh, I recorded your show, and I sent him a copy of it, and it's like, oh, thanks, you know, and we really had a lot of similar interests. He was a big collector of spook show posters, which I used to collect. I can't really afford to collect them anymore, but anyway, he passed away a few weeks ago. I think he had a liver transplant, and then pneumonia. All the stuff hit him at once, and he passed away. But he's a great guy, and so really a shame. But looking at those spook show posters made me think of him. All right. What other books can I show you? Here's a Fantastic Four novelization. It is not there are no comics in this. It's words. There were paperbacks that reprinted Fantastic Four comics in the 60s. In the late 70s, Marvel had a series of these books that were that had color. They had color comics in them, but my mom really didn't like me buying these. She thought I would ruin my eyesight, which ultimately she was right. Because the print is so incredibly microscopic in these books. I mean, really tiny. You really need a magnifying glass to read them, but they reprint a lot of the early Captain America stuff. You know, it's a good picture of them. Here's Secret Agent of Terra by John Brunner. But you know, this is an ace double. That means that you can flip it over and it's another book. So it's 2 books in one. It's an ace double. You may or may not be aware of those. Here's Corpus Earthling. Here's a FedEx truck. I wonder if they're bringing me something wonderful. Of course not. So fucking bored. Let's see. Oh shit. Hold on a moment. Oh, this is cool. Saturday Morning Mind Control by Phil Phillips. Not the Phil Phillips that did the song Sea of Love. This is Phil Phillips. I think you can listen to this guy on YouTube, but he wrote several of these books about how children's entertainment was ruining their minds and that it was all satanic. But yeah, Phil Phillips. Saturday Morning Mind Control. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are probably evil because the evil, you know, religion that they have, you know. Here's another book, the same guy, Turmoil in the Toy Box. I think he used to be on the Bob Larson radio show a lot. So, you know, it shows that Barbie is even evil. He-Man. Yeah, I think you can see some lectures or talk shows with him from the 80s. This was the 80s. I got lots of entertainment here. I'm ready for the apocalypse when they shut off the lights, man, and turn off the internet, which they're probably going to do. Here's Cleopatra. I'll have all these books to read. Of course, it'll probably be like that Twilight Zone episode, and my glasses will break. You know, I've got little reading glasses everywhere in this house, but I don't know where a single fucking pair of them are. Let's see what else is on the internet. It says an extremely sexy Wonder Woman hanging upside down. This is come on. Stupid commercial for Jurassic Park. Aren't people sick of that? Oh my goodness. Well, that's entertaining. YouTube always delivers entertainment. Tomorrow will be the closing statements in the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial. Okay, what do I got here? Oh, that's what Drew was trying to get. She was trying to get the Charlie Brown Christmas tree and chew it to pieces, but the collar prevented her from obtaining that. So, anyway, here's a Big Little Book, Spider-Man Zaps Mr. Zodiac. And of course, you all have this Fantastic Four. I think I have a hardcover version of it, too. The House of Horrors. And very bad imitations of Jack Kirby art within. Oh, yes, indeed. Well, let's see. I was just uploading another episode. Let's see if it's up yet. I'll search for Gratu Orloff. Oh, I've got a new subscriber. I'm up to 346. And this one I filmed last night has got 70 views. TV shows. But that was a terrible episode. Let me look at my channel. Oh, this one's up. But oh, it's not up yet. This is the episode before this, but see, I click on it and it's not fully uploaded. Well, I'm recording this while I'm uploading the last one. So anyway, I'm probably putting too many up in one day, because if you do that, you don't get as many views, because you overwhelm people. But who was it that said too much is better than not enough? Was that the Subgenius Church? I can't remember. This is cool. This channel called Yesterday's Papers, I'll show you what they do. It's really neat. They have go-to channel. They've got like Paul McCartney reviewing the singles of February 1966, because what they do is they have they get Melody Maker, the newspaper, and then they get, you know, Roy Wood or Joe Cocker, Steve Winwood, different Marty Feldman. What they do is they play some 45s, and they don't let them know what the artist is, new records that were coming out that month, and then they give their opinion, whether it's shitty or great, and what they think of it. Songs that we know that are classics today, or that no one's remembers today. And it's interesting to see what the musicians of the time thought of the records. And then sometimes you'll hear records you have never heard of and that are really cool. And anyway, it's this channel called Yesterday's Papers. Oh, my wife's coming down. Well, I'll see you guys soon.